Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Humanium, a brand new precious metal. And I say precious in quotes, even though you can't see me say it in quotes. It's been developed, and it's not really precious at all. But we'll explore the reasons why. Stay tuned. Humanium Metal is an initiative. It's an advertising initiative for essentially bringing awareness to gun violence in nations where it's very high, and seized illegal weapons are melted down and forms this metal that they are distributing in products, and the profits from the sale thereof go apparently to help stop this gun violence. Let's take a look at this article here from Fast Company, and it says Humanium is a metal made from guns to help stop gun violence. It's a winner of the advertising category in Fast Company's 2018 World Changing Ideas Awards, created the Humanium Metal Initiative, which makes high-design products for melted-down guns, then gives the proceeds to gun violence organizations. And I was sent some of this information by several subscribers, because apparently this is starting to make some inroads, and even Kitco has covered it. But let's take a look here. I think this article kind of gives us some insight as to what this is about, and we're going to kind of explore all the different avenues, because this is obviously something that can be easily politicized and the like. But let's see what it says. What if every time the police confiscated guns, those weapons were melted down and remade into something that benefited the people and communities who had been hurt by gun violence? That's the premise of the Humanium Metal Initiative, a pro bono campaign from Stockholm creative agencies and Great Works and Akastam Holst, which devised a business development strategy to brand melted down guns as a new precious metal. The project, which is now making metal from guns in Central America, is a winner of the advertising category for Fast Company's 2018 World Changing Ideas Awards. The ad for the program shows a new assembly line in progress. You see government authorities collecting guns and sending them to the foundry, where they're deconstructed and smelted into steel bars stamped with the invented periodic symbol that reads HU for Humanium. The goal is to show how Humanium is the world's most valuable metal, says Johan Pill, a creative director at Great Works, that is based off the metal's capacity to help heal the wounds from illegal firearms in developing countries. Here we see the business model. Victims of gun violence, weapons seized and confiscated, then created into this metal, then made into the brands, and they manufacture items made from them. To do so, the two ad companies coordinated with I Am Swedish Development Partner, a nonprofit agency, to ensure that the weapon repurposing effort was publicly traceable, and all proceeds would go back to local partner organizations battling poverty and violence in the areas where the weapons came. The commercial ends with a set of celebrity endorsements from the Dalai Lama, former UN weapons inspector Hans Blix, and Desmond Tutu. The project launched in El Salvador and has been expanded to Guatemala. It has also received support from the Swedish Foreign Ministry because it aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals of a more comprehensive arms control and promoting peace. In 2018, IAM expects to add Honduras and Colombia to the supply chain, with other Latin American countries, many of which have high levels of gun violence, to follow. In the meantime, 5 Swedish companies and a handful of top designers have committed to making humanium-based products, including couture watches, buttons, and candle holders. The effort is also in a negotiation with a 3D printing platform that would make the material available to companies and artists around the world. The goal is to approve the model with consumer products and then move on to larger products that require massive amounts of steel. The initiative says it's already used nearly 5,000 weapons from El Salvador to make 3 tons of humanium, with another 10 tons expected this year. The total orders for the metal exceed $3 million, which the initiative will start funneling back to the El Salvadorian nonprofits by the end of the year. And here is their website, humanium-metal.com. And so we can see here the process here. We'll kind of take a look here at this video and just kind of get an idea of what you see here with the melting, how they melt them down and the like. So there's the gun, and then it's broken up. And, you know, some of this, and obviously this is something that's extremely, you know, it's a delicate topic. And, but, you know, the thing is these guns, you know, they're being confiscated. You know, you kind of wonder what's going on behind the scenes, or, you know, and of course, obviously here in America and in some of these nations where, you know, gun rights are sacrosanct. You know, this is something that's it's a little touchy subject for sure. But nonetheless, there you can see them melting down the metal and then refabricating them. And there you can see lots of guns there. And so they're here at the end. And of course, it's got all of the different partners involved. And it shows the making of the bars. And I've yet to see where these bars are, where you can find these bars. The actual Humanium bars. I don't know that they're for sale. I think they're just kind of one of those things that are just out there as a placeholder to show it fabricated. But I don't know if they can be bought. I looked around and I couldn't find a place where you can actually buy the bars. But nonetheless, you know, you can see it here that this particular initiative here, you know, it raises a lot of questions too. I'm not sure that I'm sold on it per se, and because of some of the nature and some of the people involved, I'm not sure exactly I'm convinced of it. But nonetheless, it's interesting. It's an interesting idea. In one of the videos, it talks about how it's going to replace gold in some of these electronic products, gold and silver. And I just don't see how that could be possible. There's no way it could be nearly as effective, which is why they don't use aluminum or steel in some of these products for connectors and the like. But nonetheless, it is an interesting topic, and it's an interesting thing. And several members of the community have reached out to me about this. And I wanted to see if I could find a place that sells these Humanium bars. And I've not been able to find a place that actually sells them. And maybe they eventually will, or maybe they won't. Maybe it's just in the manufactured products. But actually getting an ingot itself is proving to be something more difficult to do. And of course, another thing that makes you, you know, see all these organizations that have talked about it and have covered this particular thing. But have you heard of this before? Those in this community, Humanium, or Humanium, if that's how you pronounce it. Here's the countries most affected by gun violence. And of course, obviously, the countries that suffer from the worst gun violence are the most politically unstable. Venezuela, you can see here, is a second, but Honduras, there's a lot, surprisingly a lot. I was in Honduras in the very late 80s and seemed to be relatively peaceful then, but nonetheless, apparently in recent years things have changed. Of course, there has been a change in political change in regimes there in Honduras. Venezuela, you can understand why things are crazy there. Swaziland is in Africa, and surprising Jamaica is that high with gun violence for sure. But nonetheless, very interesting indeed. So post your thoughts below about Humanium. Is this something you might be interested in just as a keepsake? I wouldn't mind having one of these bars just as a keepsake, but I don't know that I don't know. To me, it seems like there may be a bigger agenda behind it. You know, that you know, gun violence and how it could possibly spread to areas where, you know, seized guns or illegal guns, especially in this nation. It certainly can be something that, because obviously there's a lot of gun control proponents in the United States, and something like this could bleed over into our country. Post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude y'all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.